Any more funny stories about anything going on at the time?
I'm sorry?
Do you have any more funny stories about that was going on at the time, or?
Not any funny stories, I don't think. I have another story about my sister Mauri. I was working for a insurance company, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. And the area siren sounded and the boss said, okay, we're going down in the basement. And there were 12 of us typists, and then there were other members, you know, that worked there. And we went down to the basement, and finally the all clear sounded. And he said, okay, come on up, we're going up and work again. And we got upstairs, and it wasn't very long before he said, no, we're not going to work. He said, you all go home. He said, come back tomorrow.
Yeah.
So I was going to the bus, and the bus was quite a distance from where I worked.
Mm-hmm.
And I finally got to the bus and got on, and we had conductors that took your money. And he was taking my money, and he said, Camberwell really got it today. And I said, oh. I said, I live in Camberwell. My sister's home. She's only 14. And he patted me and he said, don't worry. He said, she's okay, you know. And I thought, how do you know? You know. And
Right.
finally got to Camberwell and used to take a streetcar from there to where I lived. And I just ran all the way.
Yeah.
And we lived in these great big blocks of flats that were 4 stories high,
Mm-hmm.
brick. And all the floors were concrete. And I looked in this great big entrance, and there was glass and brick everywhere, and I thought, oh, but I looked and the house was still standing. And I finally got up the stairs. I kept falling, couldn't get up there fast enough. And I couldn't find my key, and I'm banging on the door. I could ring in the doorbell and banging, and she came to the door as white as a ghost. And I said, I took one look at her and I said, I'll never pray to God again for letting this happen. She slapped me across the face and she said, you come with me. And she took me through into the dining room. We had a little patio off of there. And she said, take a look next door. And I looked, and the block was completely gone, just
Oh my goodness.
completely. And I said, what did you do when the area siren sounded? And she said, I ran into the hall. All we had was a little piece of glass above the door, front door. And because we had linoleum, because in the hallway we had carpet other places, you know. And she said she ran in the hallway because there wasn't any glass and stood away from the door. And the linoleum came up when the blast hit and covered her face. And she said, come and look in the living room, and a picture had blown off the wall and hit into the piano.
Wow.
And I think there was just one pane of glass, just a small pane of glass in the window in the living room, but other than that, everything was okay.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's amazing.
yeah. She experienced more than I did
Yeah.
for
Oh,
such
yeah,
a youngster,
yeah.
you know.
Right. Mm-hmm.